Hi, David. Such a pleasure meeting you today. Thanks so much for joining me for this conversation. What brings you to India?
So I've come over here for 6 months to work with colleagues, with our partners and with our team that we're building here in Gurugram to make sure that our new Delhi campus really has the spirit of the University of Southampton, so that students joining us feel part of our global University of Southampton community.
So, what's the importance of a global university like Southampton? It's top ranked. It's in the top 100, with respect to the QS rankings. What's its importance from an Indian perspective? Why is it important for Indian higher education?
So I think it's a really interesting moment in Indian higher education. And since the National Education Policy was published and the best universities in the world have been encouraged to come and set up campus here, the University of Southampton is the first one to do that. And we've got a really long history of working with the best of Indian higher education institutions over many, many decades. And we believe that in order to solve those greatest problems challenging humanity, and whether that's climate change, whether it's the environment, whether it's inequality, we've got to work together. So as the University of Southampton, we're not going to solve it on our own. And so we want to work globally. We want to work with partners and collaboratively tackle some of those real challenges facing us.
What's unique about the University of Southampton from a research standpoint, from a teaching standpoint?
So we've got expertise across a vast range of different subject areas, and they collaborate together in ways that enable us to move faster in tackling some of those challenges. Every one of our programs at the university has been mapped against the UN's SDG, so Sustainable Development Goals, and I think that demonstrates the commitment that we have in making sure that the research we do and that we share and that students participate in is actually applicable to the real world. So it's not just happening in laboratories, it's not just happening in libraries, but it's coming together with industrial partners, with NGOs, with governments to use that research to make the world a better place.
And I think what you've mentioned is absolutely right. I mean, if a lot of the research has to be able to be applicable to the world, it has to be practice-driven, for example, or it has to, lead to, let's say, innovations or solutions or problems, right? Now, you're someone who's obviously executive director of student experience back in the UK. What's student experience all about, and why is it important?
So I think it's important to consider that the broader experience of being a student. So it's not just about the time you spent in classes, it's not just about the knowledge that you gain, but it's really about the broader life of being a student. And that might be, one, making sure that you're healthy and happy and able to participate in your learning, but also what are the things you're doing outside of the curriculum? And that might be sport, it might be entrepreneurship activities, it could be in clubs and societies, it could be participating in the student association, for example, because all of those things are complementary to that core academic purpose of being here.
And so what can a student at the University of Southampton Delhi expect from their campus experience?
I think firstly it's being part of a global community that's not just here in Delhi, but in Delhi, in the UK, in Malaysia, online. We've got students around the world, and I think that will give a real international flavour to what we do. But we're also wanting our students at our Delhi campus to really be pioneers and start creating that student experience, creating that student life, because we see students as co-creators in our university. And a university is only a university when it has students, and only a university when it has our faculty. And so all of those different elements come together to create what the University of Southampton Delhi will be.
I know that you've been personally involved in selecting the accommodation for the students who will be joining us in August of 25. Tell us a little bit about the accommodation.
So I think it's really nice, and it's somewhere that I'd be very happy staying. And we know that the residential element is a key part of university life for many students. And it's there that some of the bouncing ideas off each other will happen. The residences that we've selected are a few kilometres away from the campus, but we'll be providing shuttle buses for that. But they're really a safe and secure and comfortable, I think, environment for students to create the sort of place where students can explore their ideas and further their educational experience, really.
All right, I second you on that, because both of us have been involved in the whole selection process of the accommodation. And we obviously have very stringent parameters and criteria. And of course, the overall experience matters. What kind of infrastructure can a student expect at the campus?
So the campus is really exciting, and I visited it only a few days ago. And as we fit it out, I think the first thing is that it will have a flavour of the University of Southampton, because it's part of our global organisation. But it's going to have the very best facilities. So fantastic learning spaces, both in the sort of formal teaching space of lecture theatres, seminar rooms. It's in the International Tech Park in Sector 59. And that's a great environment for being part of a broader community of organisations that might provide employability opportunities, but are doing exciting things in their respective fields. But apart from everything else, of course, it's a very green and clean environment. It's got some great food options, great sport and recreation options as well. So ideally placed for us to build our campus.
So this is a quiz question for you. What are the 3 reasons for why students should join University of Southampton in Delhi?
So I think firstly, it's the only opportunity for students to join the first UGC-approved World Top 100 university in India. And that, for those students who are out there who are pioneering, exciting people, it's a great opportunity for them. I think the other thing is you get that enormously high-quality educational experience that is associated with many decades of delivery in the United Kingdom, but right here in Delhi. And we know it's such an exciting city and such an exciting country in the world. What a wonderful place to do that. So you get the best of both worlds of the UK education system, but here as well. And I think the third thing would be joining that global community. So we've got over 250,000 of our graduates spread across the globe who are doing exciting things, either working for massive multinational companies, or they're developing their own family businesses, or they're starting up something new as an entrepreneur. And being part of that really welcoming environment, I think, is fantastic and will set students up for a hugely exciting life and career.
Tell us a little bit about, what are your plans for employability in University of Southampton in Delhi?
So we've got, as you say, a long history of providing some fantastic support to our graduates, because we know that students are, obviously they're interested in the academic content of their programme and they're interested in the student life that we offer. But at the forefront of their mind for our students and their families is, of course, what's the return on that, and what can students expect when they graduate in terms of the job opportunities that we have. And so we take that very seriously, and we've invested significantly in how we support students to think about that. So we've got an enormous amount of resources that students will have access to on all of those different career options and the sorts of things that they can do to make sure they're at the top of the pile when employers are considering them as new employees. One of the key parts of that is our Successful Futures programme, and this is a recently launched programme that's been really successful on our UK campuses, where we've worked with employers to understand what are the actual skills that they're looking for in graduates. Because to an employer, they want students to graduate ready for the workplace and to be equipped with the sorts of skills that they're looking for. And we've managed to identify within our Southampton skills model 14 key skills. And that includes things like communication, but also resilience and creativity that we are encouraging students to develop. And we've mapped every one of our academic programmes across the whole of our university sort of ecosystem to understand which of those skills have been developed in that programme. So we give a student the language and the ability to articulate the skills that they've developed.
And I think both you and I have been working with a lot of organizations in the country. What's the plan? Obviously, we're extending a lot of our global relationships into the country. We are developing a lot of very good, promising relationships in India. So what's the plan for, let's say, placements?
So I think we want to extend those relationships that we already have, and we know that we've had students placed with leading global companies for many decades, and we want to extend that now to India. And those companies know, because the program is the same, the academic content is the same, that those students are very well equipped. So we've been having conversations with employers over here, from some very well recognised household names, but also some more specialist organisations as well, to understand how they can be involved in student life and academic life at the university at our campus in Delhi, and how that can then lead to placement of students once they graduate. And of course, with our 1-year postgraduate programmes and 3-year undergraduate programmes, we're going to have students graduating from 2026.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you,
David. Thank you.